It's a bad way to start this video. Fuck. How do I... When you're watching this, exactly 1 year ago today, I started playing Dead by Daylight. And I thought it would be fun as a kind of 1 year thing to go through my memories of playing Dead by Daylight and how far I've come and things like that. So, I'm obviously not going to go beat by beat and, like, talk your guys' ear off, like, fucking half an hour or something, but, I just thought it would be really fun to do something like this. So, without further ado, this is my recap. So, I downloaded Dead by Daylight actually fairly early on. There was, like, a Steam sale or something, and it was available for, like, $10. And I bought it randomly, thinking, I'd play it eventually, and it took like 3 months before, took like 3 months before I actually booted it up. What caused me to actually boot it up was I learned that Ghostface was a killer in the game. And so I booted the game up, and I played Ghostface, and I thought to myself, oh, this is cool, this is great. And then I put it down after, I'd say like 2 hours, right? I put it down and I was like, well, that was cool. That was neato. I don't care. I was like, I'll play it once in a while. I told my chat, I had one person watching me at the time. I told my friend who was watching me, I was like, I'll play it eventually. I'll play it sometimes, but like, it's not going to become a staple of my content. That same day, I was right around 9.5 hours into the game, because I had logged off after 2 hours, logged back on to play it. I was reached 9 hours in the game, and I met my very first bully squad. It was on Dead Dog Saloon. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was getting flashbanged, I was getting blinded, I was getting head-oned, and what started the confusion was I had downed this Auto, and I picked her up, and I got flashlight saved. I was like, that's fucking weird. Well, everybody else was healthy, so as a new killer, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but when you're a new killer, you go for the person that's injured, because that's the easiest target to you. So I turned, and I didn't know how Ghostface's power worked, by the way. For the first, 11 hours, I had no idea what marking a survivor was. I was playing M1 Ghostface for the first 11 hours. So I chased her down, and I downed her again, and I picked her up, and I got flashbanged. Then I chased her down, and I downed her again, and I picked her up, and I got head-oned. And eventually, I ended up killing the whole squad. Well, after the game was done, they came into my stream and started fucking yelling at me about tunneling the Auto. And I was like, what's tunneling? Who's Auto? And they didn't answer me. They just kept going, why were you tunneling the Auto? What's wrong with you tunneling the Auto? Why were you tunneling the Auto? I'm like, who's Auto? What is tunneling? What are you talking about? And eventually, I pulled up my desktop, and I pointed at my hours, and I was like, I have less than 10 hours in the game. I have no idea what you're talking about. And so I ended up banning them, and that was my first experience with a bully squad. And so a little bit later on down the road, after that, most things went by kind of, I would say, basically unconventional. Like most games went by and nothing really big happened. I do have this memory of being on the Garden of Jagovs. I was playing Ghostface, and I was about 22-ish hours into the game at this point. 25, somewhere in there. It wasn't very far. And the pallet on the Garden of Jagovs, right in front of Maine, there's the truck and the wagon, and then there's a pallet there. And this Nay that I was chasing dropped that pallet, and I didn't quite... No, sorry, she didn't drop the pallet. I was terrified of pallets, right? Like, you've heard of respecting pallets? I was petrified. Like, to me, as a new killer, getting stunned was one of the most infuriating things in the world, and I was so scared of getting stunned because I was convinced that getting stunned would lose me games. And so every time she would reach the pallet, I would back up and go the other way. So of course she backed up and went the other way. And we kept doing this little dance, and then eventually I stopped and she teabagged and I went, fuck this game, this shit isn't fucking fair, and I insta-DC'd. Nowadays, I just eat the stun. I'll just be like, yeah, drop the pallet. Oh, okay, cool. And if I don't eat the stun, I'll break the pallet and just keep walking, right? But back then, as a new killer, and this is a lot of times, like when you guys see me talk about new player experience, this is why I'm so much of an advocate for improving the new player experience. Because when I was a new player, I had one person in chat that would occasionally feed me information about the game, but they weren't always in chat. And sometimes even if they weren't talking or they weren't paying attention. And I didn't understand what they were saying sometimes because they would just like name things for me. And while that was kind of helpful, I was still confused. But a lot of times, I keep maintaining, right, that, and I've maintained this even a year later, just about 1,500 hours. I maintain that of the two roles, killer is more stressful. Survivor can be more frustrating, but only when you're solo queuing. And killer is more stressful. And the reason I say killer is more stressful is because you have to keep track of all 4 survivors, where they are, what perks are they running, when did you last see them. You got to keep track of all the generators, not necessarily all 7 because some generators get completed, but you got to keep track of all the generators, what's going on with those generators, what progress were they at, what progress are they at now, did you break them? Then you got to keep track of every loop. Did you break the pallet here? Did you not break the pallet here? Then you got to keep track of your power, your cooldowns, where you're at, what you're doing, how you're doing this. How many times have you hooked each survivor? Because God forbid you hook a survivor twice without hooking another one, even though it's been fucking 10 minutes because you can't find or catch anybody else, or then you're a filthy fucking tunnel or whatever, right? You got to keep track of so much shit as a killer. And a new player not only doesn't have the skills to keep track of all that shit, they also don't even know that's the shit they're supposed to be keeping track of. And even beyond that, once they know they're supposed to be keeping track of perks and shit, new killers aren't going to know every single perk. I'm 1,500 hours in the game. I still forget perks exist. Like fucking Overcome. Who remembers that? You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things that's just really, really, really stressful. And then, so I started playing more, and eventually my chat, or the guy who was feeding me information and one of my friends who got me into Dead by Daylight to begin with, they both convinced me to start playing the Wraith and start playing the other free 5 killers just so I could get their perks at the very least. And so we went through and I got all of the perks and I did all this and I started playing and everything went fairly well. And in November 9th, I believe, let me check real quick. Playlist. If I go to Dead by Daylight, the very first video on there was uploaded November 9th, 2022. And it was this video here. Using lockers lost them the game. Now, I'm not going to get fully into this video because I want to do a reaction to it on November 9th, which is coming up. I thought that'd be a fun thing to do. But, and you look at look, November 9th was my first DBD video. I didn't upload my second one until December 1st. That's nutty. I waited almost an entire month between videos, and then I was doing 3 videos a week for a little while. I'll get into that later. But anyway, so I uploaded this video, and this is actually a screen cap from the game, and then a Huntress that I cut out the Huntress overlay. I actually edited out Huntress and put it on here. And basically in this game, what was happening was the Meg kept climbing in lockers randomly. So like she climbed in one locker and I was like, why are you in there? And I yoinked her out. And then I was going to check on a Jin and the scratch mark stopped at a locker. And so I opened it and I pulled her out and I was like, what are you doing? And then nowhere near her. I don't think I was anywhere near her. I go walking and I use my last hatchet and I miss it. And so I go to reload, and I open the locker to reload, and she's in there. And so I grabbed her and I killed her. And I thought that game was just like fucking sick. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give him a click big title. Using locker shouldn't have cost him the game. This is gonna make a lot of views. It got 90 views. It didn't even break 100 views. But that was my very first time posting Dead by Daylight content to YouTube. And when I did that, I was like, fuck, maybe I'll start playing Dead by Daylight a little bit more. Time went on, I started publishing more and more videos, and then eventually, December 17th came. Now, for those of you who don't know, my dad died on April 24th, 2019, and December 17th is his birthday. And every year, I do a stream on his birthday so that I can kind of commemorate him, because my dad was always very supportive of my dreams. Well, when you're bad at a video game and you're grieving and you've dealt with several, and you've had several bad games back to back, and you've dealt with several bully squads on the day, eventually you fucking snap. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole situation. There are 2 separate videos on the situation. There is the one that Aaron Duke made, and then there is me reacting to Aaron's video and talking a little bit more about it. If you want to see either of those videos, they'll both be linked in the description. But basically, I got involved in some really bad Twitter drama when I blew up on a squad on the Eyrie of Cox while I was playing Pinhead. And that situation turned out to be one of the things that kickstarted my growth. And I got super confident in Dead by Daylight, and I started uploading a lot of Dead by Daylight, and I started working with it and having fun and everything, and I was doing 3 videos a week. And then I uploaded a video called How to Fix Trapper. And I did that on January 11th. January 11th, I uploaded How to Fix Trapper. It was the first ever video of mine to reach 1,000 views. It was the first video of mine on this channel to break like 200, you know, but I had this idea in my head from the very first time I was getting into Dead by Daylight, somewhere around like, I'd say like November-ish. I wanted to do a video called I wanted to do a series called How to Fix, where I talked about things that I wanted to fix about the game. And as you can see, we've done quite a bit. We've done Trapper, Hillbilly, Freddy, Ghostface, Legion, Pig, Trickster, Pyramid Head, Myers, and most recently, last week, we did the Twins. And they perform fairly well. I don't know why this is in this playlist. It shouldn't be, but they perform fairly well. I've undergone quite a few changes to the How to Fix videos, a few formatting changes. I do things a tad differently, and I bounce back and forth of how I do things. I'm never really sure, like, you know, I'm never really how to make it happy. You know what I mean? But it's all been, you know, that was what kickstarted it. And I think if that video would have flopped, I probably would have lost a lot of motivation to... I probably would have lost a lot of motivation. In doing stuff like that, you know what I mean? And so it was one of those things that I'm really glad it did. And then after a while, after like a long while, I eventually got really burnt out on Dead by Daylight. Really burnt out. I was playing every single day, multiple hours a day. I was constantly looking for clips and content, and it was so bad. I was always like, I can't fucking take this anymore. I was raging. I was smashing things. So eventually I uploaded a video in April this year called The Final DBD Video, which was just basically clickbait. And it was me basically talking about how I'm taking an indefinite break from Dead by Daylight. And I went almost 2 months. April, May. It wasn't until June 8th, I uploaded my next Dead by Daylight video. I did a Witcher deep dives. I did a video on Blizzard. I did some general video game discussions. I did a Valorant video that actually didn't do too bad, considering like my average numbers. So that was kind of cool. And so yeah, so let's talk about this era right here, I think. I remember the moment that I decided to make that video. It was actually while I was playing the Deathslinger game that's in that video. Or I think it might have been the one before. It was something like that. And I was playing Deathslinger, and I was on Gideon's, I think. No, not Gideon's. Ormond's? Might have been Ormond's. And I was just so frustrated because I couldn't catch anybody. I couldn't deal with I was getting like a lot of pallets, I think. I was getting frustrated. I'd played like 5 or 6 games. All of them were 4-man's outs. I was getting so pissed off that I finally decided to sit down and take a break and take a step back and say, I can't do this anymore. And you know, it was really something needed. So like I did a few other, variety stuff, and none of them really performed that well, and it kind of showed me that, I was uploading DBD content. I should probably stick with DBD content. So I come back to the game. This is what really fucking pisses me off. I come back to the game, and I upload on the 8th, the 16th, and the 19th. I upload the map offerings need to go, how to fix the Legion, and the pallet problem. And right after I uploaded this one, like 2 days later, my computer fucking crashes. I just came back to the game, and my computer will not boot up. It's in an infinite boot screen. So I take it to the shop, and 14 days it took the shop to get me my computer back. 14 days. They try to basically what happened was my hard drive cannot get partitioned as a boot drive anymore. It can only be partitioned as a storage drive, which is why I still have it, because I need to get an external thing for that because I have a lot of shit on my computer. But it can't be partitioned as a boot drive anymore. And so the guy, because it took so long, the guy got it to me for free. I give my computer back. I get it all set up. I go in to play Dead by Daylight, and I don't have any internet because the internet company cut me off, and I lost my job. And so from June 19th all the way to August 14th, almost 2 months, I was gone again. So you think about this, right? I've been playing Dead by Daylight for a year, thereabouts. And 2 separate times, I took a 2-month break. One was purpose, the other one was not. And so if you take those 4-ish months, say 3.5, out of the equation, you're talking about in a 9-month span, I've racked up 1,500 hours on this fucking game. Who knows where we're going from there? So I uploaded the video that I was back, talked a little bit about stuff that I missed, and then the infamous Atsdarva video. I think that this video was the break point that shifted me from being a 1,000 viewer or 1,000 subscriber DBD tuber to well over, I think in off this video alone, I gained something. I think I can check. Yeah. 294. This doesn't seem like a lot, but these 294 subscribers I gained off the video started watching back my content. And then, like, all of a sudden, just fucking, like, boom, 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 right? And I just started growing and growing and growing. And this video was, like, the break point that sped forward my growth as a creator. Now, unfortunately, it also resulted in a lot of people not liking me, which, you know, is fine. The damage is done. A lot of those people probably will never come back to check out another one of my videos. Some of those people came back just so they can comment. I hate comment on all of my videos. It happens. But the point is that that really kickstarted the process of me growing. And over the next few 3 days later, I uploaded the Made for This video after dealing with Made for This since in the 5 days since I came back. I uploaded this video. And then I was like, I'm gonna upload another one. I'll upload another one. Fuck it. And then it was like a few days went by and I was like, I'll upload this one, which did pretty well, actually. I was like, fuck it, another one. Missed a day. Fuck it, another one. And then right around here, because I'd already had this one scheduled, right around here, between these two videos, I was like, I'm having fun uploading a video a day. And then that's where it started, bro. That's where it just went boom, 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 boom. A new video every single day for the past 2 months. And I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I wanted to quit. Sometimes I just wanted to, like, stop for just a fucking fraction of a second. And then I realized that I do enjoy talking about this game, and I do enjoy talking about Dead by Daylight. And honestly, after a year of playing this game, I can't promise you guys I'm always going to be a Dead by Daylight creator. I remember back in my 1,000 subscriber Q&A, I got asked if I saw myself playing Dead by Daylight for the long term. And I told the person no. And the more I play, the more I realize that eventually the game's going to lose my interest. Eventually, I'm going to cover every topic. Which is why you guys have been seeing me do gameplays, and that's one of the reasons I started the React series, was so that I could keep giving you guys content and I could also get you guys involved without necessarily having to come up with a new topic every day. And it's not that I don't want to make daily videos. It's that sometimes it's difficult to come up with something you haven't said before. And that's why a lot more gameplay videos have been making its way into my content upload schedule. Because it's just... if you guys watch Oddstarva, and you watch his Not Odds channel, almost daily uploads, you notice how a lot of those videos end up being gameplay videos. Because sometimes it's hard to find things to talk about. And it's not that I can't always find something to talk about. There's a lot in Dead by Daylight, right? You could always find something to talk about. But whether or not that something is going to take up a 8 to 10 minute video or a 15 minute video or whatever. Like, bare minimum, I like my videos to be at least 8 minutes. I think if it's less than 8 minutes, it feels like a waste of a video, and I don't like doing that. And so if I can't make my videos at least 8 minutes, I get frustrated. And there have been a lot of video ideas that have been scrapped because they only ended up being 4 minutes or 5 minutes. And that's sometimes where you get like multi-layered videos, like my Scourge Hook discussion I was originally just going to ask if we needed more Scourge Hook perks. I wasn't going to go in depth and talk about each Scourge Hook individually and how I recommended them and things like that. I was just going to ask if we needed more Scourge Hook perks and what I thought we could do. And it eventually evolved into that Scourge Hook discussion video. But the thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, was not only to, talk about how far we've come, but also to talk about how I don't want you guys to be alarmed if you start seeing more variety on this channel. If occasionally you see an Overwatch video, or a video game review, or something that happened in gaming news, I want you to understand that the reason that's happening is because I either don't want to be burnt out, or I might get tired of Dead by Daylight. And I'm not going to make another video down the road about quitting Dead by Daylight, right? Because I don't know if I will. That's the problem with me, is that I'm incredibly indecisive. So if I make a video stating I quit Dead by Daylight, again, I'm going to look like a liar when eventually I come back. But if I just upload the content I want to upload, and then some of it's Dead by Daylight and some of it's not, then you guys start to understand like what's happening. And if Dead by Daylight content stops altogether, then you'll know that I'm at least taking a break from it. But I'm not going to make a huge announcement about it. I love this game, but I don't know if it's going to hold my attention another year. Time will tell. Other than that, I love you guys so much. I'm looking incredibly forward to Chapter 30. I'm filming this on the Friday before it goes live, so I don't know if Chapter 30 will be teased in between this video going live or whatnot. But hey, I hope so. But before I get out of here, a special thank you to my channel members, The Cannibal Main, Ryan Jester, Alex Ballix, Tabasco Raccoon, Spirit Upgrades, and Nuclear Bomb. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you guys for the additional support, and I will see you tomorrow.